Namaste. I'm Hari Kiran, founder Indic Academy, and through this video blog, I would like to share some thoughts on how we deal with any disputes, how we deal with any differences, and what's the framework with which we look at when there is a disagreement. As an institution, as an emerging institution, we take a number of decisions on a daily basis, and some of these decisions may not be agreeable to you, to some of you. And typically what we notice is that there is a tweet, there's some name calling, there's some abuses, or on emails. There could be several comments that you could make because you didn't like some of the actions that we have taken, be it an event that we have done, or a person that we have hosted, or a grant that we have given to somebody. It could be anything. And this may not resonate with you, and then you would feel offended, and you would think that, oh, we thought that Indic Academy is this, but you know what, they have turned out to be this. So, and then you express that anger on the social media, and you feel it unresolved, and it sort of festers. For us also, it is not a good thing, because we want to bring in radical openness and radical transparency in our decision making. And through this framework, we want to encourage you to understand how we go about making our decisions, and in case there's any dispute, how we can resolve our differences. Because what we believe is that if we have the same set of values, then there should not be any differences, because we could have difference of opinion, because that's what we are all fighting for. We are fighting for retaining the diversity and pluralistic nature of our Indic civilizational thought, and therefore we should respect that diversity. But if there are any serious differences, we can try and see how we can resolve them. Broadly speaking, we have to think of the framework. There are two aspects that I would like to focus on. One is platforming versus promoting. We need to understand the key difference between these two words. When I say that we platform a person, we already are doing something. There's already an activity that Indic Academy is already conducting and organizing. There are several speakers, and one of the speakers we invite to hear a diverse opinion or view. And that person may not be Indic oriented, he might not have the same set of values, and therefore we are only platforming that person. We are not in sync with his or her value system, but we allow them to express their opinion, because we learn from diverse opinions. We must remember that we are unlike the growing tendencies across the world, where there's a certain amount of regressiveness, where platforming itself has become an issue, and FOE is seriously being threatened. We do not want to do that. So you must understand that by default we would like to platform all diverse opinions. But there's an exception to that. The exception is that if he or she is known to be abusive in nature, then we do not want to platform such abusive people, because we believe in respectful interaction and respectful debate. And therefore, if a person is known to be a habitual abuser of people, maliciously abusive people, we do not even platform them. But we do not keep track of all the abuses or all the statements, elements of that person. So how do we know? So we do a quick check, like a smell test of what that person is, and then we can platform. But then you could be knowing, you could be having history with that person, and then you say, oh, this person so and so did this, a few years back and all that. We don't keep track. So if you come across a person that we have platformed who is abusive in nature, please do bring it to our notice, and we will take a judgment call whether that merits non-platforming of that person. Now, insofar as promoting a person is concerned, we promote people who share the same set of values that we espouse. And those values are articulated in the form of an INDIC pledge that we have come up with. And that pledge has certain components. And I just read out that pledge it's already available, but I just want to read it out for you so that you understand that these are the values. If a person has, we would like to promote that person. When we say promote, we put in resources behind that person to promote his book or his thoughts or his films in whatever format possible. So promotion is that we are actually spending some resources to promote and give a platform to that person, whereas platforming is we are not spending any resources. We already are organizing an event, and we also provide a platform for a person to express his or her view. So what are these values? These values are somebody who celebrates our civilizational identity, continuity, and legacy in thought, word, and deed. So every word is very important. You have to celebrate. It has to be in thought, word, and deed, your identity, continuity, and legacy. Secondly, there has to be a belief in that person that what you're fighting for, the indigenous thought has some solutions for the global challenges of health, happiness, peace, and sustainability. These are timeless aspects of our wisdom. Our knowledge systems, there is certain aspects of our knowledge system which is contextual, and world has moved beyond and progressed beyond, and certain aspects of our knowledge systems which is timeless, which is relevant. It was relevant then, it is relevant today, and that is what we believe these elements have a solution for the global challenges. Finally, that person on an individual basis should seek to preserve, protect, and promote this heritage that we have. And in doing so, he or she should discover and nurture his potential. That is the key. Harness the potential. Secondly, he or she should connect, cooperate, and collaborate with the fellow seekers. This is a very important part. We do not want to have. We want people to help each other. We want people to connect with each other, and we want people to collaborate with each other. Finally, we look at people who encourage diversity, inclusiveness, and are respectful of others' opinions. So if you have these set of values, and if you sign off on this set of values, then we would be happy to promote you in any venture. So this is what we call as a INDIC pledge. Now, if you can come up and say that you platform somebody and that person has a history, there's an appropriation history or whatever. I mean, there could be so many issues which we are not aware of. Or even a person who has signed off on this has some issues elsewhere and we don't know about it. And then you can come up to us. So we will look at that. We will immediately see the merits. Internally, we will have a look and see whether that person should not be promoted anymore or should not be platformed. And we will tell you the reasons. We will articulate saying that, look, we believe that what you have said doesn't merit any action from us. We can say that. But doesn't stop there. you would definitely have a right to appeal our decision and say that, look, you guys have not understood this properly, and you have to reconsider your decision, and we would be happy to do so. We are most happy to reconsider our decision. We do not have any ego. We are an institution, and we would be most happy to reconsider our decision in case you're not agreeable to that. And the way we go about it is, we have a structure there. First and foremost, you have to disclose your agency. Unfortunately, the times have become such that the base case is that a person, earlier days, the base case was that a person is objective. So, for example, any public intellectual writes an op-ed or a journalist, objectivity was assumed, and he is only agent of pursuit of knowledge, pursuit of truth. But that is not the case anymore. So the default has been flipped. The default is that you have to establish your agency. When we say agency, you have to tell us what, in some way, you have to be as transparent as possible. Tell us what is your social, political, economic, cultural thinking. If you are an atheist, why you are an atheist. If you belong to a faith and you adhere to that faith, then tell us about it. And if you are commenting on another faith, then have you done a comparative analysis? So we would like to know more about your agency. Where do you come from? What is your lens? Why? What's the angle with which you are looking at a particular thing? This is important, and it is up to you. This disclosure, if you do not disclose, and in the second stage, it will emerge anyway. So it is good that if you yourself do not waste our time and disclose your agency. The second important thing to resolve ourselves is you have to establish your humility. We do not like to discuss or debate with egos. I mean, there's so many egos. Everybody has an ego. So we don't like to debate with egos, because then there is no progress, there's no advance of knowledge. We want to discuss with humble people. And the only benchmark for us of humility is that you are willing to subsume or surrender yourself to a judgment of somebody else you respect. So when you have to establish your humility by saying, look, this is an appeal. I have written to you earlier, you have said no, but now here is so-and-so I'm appointing on my behalf, his judgment I respect. And then what we will do is we will also appoint somebody, and together both of them will appoint a chairman. So we will form an arbitration committee, and then you can give your written submissions. We will give our written submissions, and whatever that arbitration committee decides is binding on both of us, your side and our side. So in case the arbitration committee says that, look, we should not have done this, we should not have promoted somebody, or we should have not non-platformed somebody, or we shouldn't have held this event. And if that kind of situation the arbitration committee decides, then we will be the first persons to accept. Upfront, before the arbitration is started, we will give an undertaking transparently in public domain, undertaking that yes, we will treat that judgment of the arbitration committee as final and binding on us. And we would expect you also to do that, so that there is no wastage of our time. So think about this. Think about these four aspects that I've just talked about. There is a distinction between platform and promote. We only promote people who sign on to the INDIC pledge. We do not platform people who are abusive in nature. And if you come across people who are abusive and you bring to our notice, then we would be happy. We will take a call and give you a decision. And in case this decision is not acceptable to you, you are most we welcome you to appeal to us. You can appoint a third party whose judgment you will respect. We will appoint somebody. Together they will appoint the chairman. Through your written submissions, the panel will take care. We will pay for the panel's time and effort. And then whatever the arbitration panel decides, we will most gladly accept that decision. So we do not have an institutional ego. And that's what we mean, that you have to disclose your agency and establish your humility if you want to resolve any dispute with us, be it organizing an event. You don't like LGBTQ, and we organize an event on LGBTQ, and you're screaming all over social media, whatever. I mean, whatever your trip in life is, there's no issue for us. But as far as we are concerned, we are a neutral platform. We encourage diversity, we encourage pluralism, we encourage inclusiveness, and this is what we are all trying to revive. The whole endeavor is to revive diversity and inclusion and pluralism. So therefore, this is what we will always be. Thank you so much.